Hi, I'm your host, Eric Borno.
Hi, Eric Borno. I'm your host, Nisk.
And you're listening to the God's Plan Podcast. And we are live. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. You're listening to the God's Plan Podcast. You know, these are stressful times, guys. There's a lot of hectic stuff going on in the world, but right now, the God's Plan Podcast, this is a sacred time. You might have a lot of stress and responsibility, but here, you don't have to worry about any of that shit because it's all just God's plan, so you might as well just chill out. Maybe go make yourself an appletini and just hang out listening to some of your favorite goofballs ramble about God knows what with God knows who. Speaking of God knows who, Nisk, who are we joined with today?
Oh, baby. In this episode, we are joined by far by our most famous guest. He's a world-renowned hip-hop artist. Has 4 Grammys. Starred in the TV show Degrassi. And he's dropping a new album this year.
Nisk, I don't think...
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you...
I don't think that's...
Drake!
God's plan. I mean, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I got bad news that I got to break to you, man.
What?
We didn't book Drake for this episode. We booked Jake. Jake.
Jake.
Not.
I hate it when that happens.
Drake.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Dude, I mean, like
the whole time I did. All of my questions are for freaking Drake.
Oh, this is awkward. No. In fact, our actual guest today.
Back to the drawing board.
Our actual guest today is actually a very interesting chap himself. He's a full-time professional poker player, hailing from Boston, Massachusetts. He's been swindling and hustling old retired guys now for about 3 years, and he loves every second of it. He recently moved from Tampa. Actually, he and I were roommates down there for a couple years. But right now, he's up here with us in the studio today to share some of the trials and tribulations about being a full-time gambler for a living. And maybe he can teach us about how to add a little healthy risk to our lives here and there. Jake, how are you doing this fine afternoon?
Doing wonderful. It's great to be here with you guys, it's good to change up what you're doing, and this is a very rogue thing to do, and I'm all about embracing rogue things.
Well, we're happy to have you here today. So, Jake, I think the question on everybody's mind is, why do you love Taylor Swift so much?
I mean, you said we only have 45 minutes to an hour. We need about at least an hour to talking about some high stakes vocal exchange. So I don't know if you're willing to fight for those stakes right now.
High stakes vocal exchange? What, you defending your love for Taylor Swift?
Yeah, it's going to take too long for your podcast. There's too many other important things to get to.
Too many more things that are more important than Taylor Swift, man.
Nothing's more important than love.
I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be selfish. If it was me, say my podcast. If it was my podcast, it would be probably 90% Taylor Swift.
Okay, here's a little. Okay, so Jake, I understand that early on in your poker career, you didn't always play poker. Before, there was a little card game that you dabbled in. Maybe not dabbled in. Maybe
that is where it all began, right? That's where my journey pretty much began.
Maybe it wouldn't be fair to say you dabbled, but maybe it kind of more consumed your entire life a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Anyone that was my peer in my teenage days could see it. I pretty much cared about nothing but it.
So, of course, we're talking about the game Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Collectible trading card. I tried to make it sound like a not nerdy.
I thought it was poker for a second.
No, that's why it's interesting because I had no intentions of playing poker for a living. Of course, I was just playing Magic. I was so consumed that's all I could think about. Mm-hmm. So then I just kind of got some roads and went down one after that.
Is Poker the Gathering?
Jake, could you quickly explain just the premise of Magic just a little bit? What it is? You played it a lot.
Oh yeah, it's a strategy card game. Usually, anyone that hasn't heard of it, you obviously think about Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, right? It's very similar to that one-on-one strategy card game. That
strategies,
I'd say, is for more sophisticated players than those two card games I mentioned.
Not to toot your own horn or anything.
No, it's just to get people to feel for it. It's not like a child's card game. Like, not many children can win at the game.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it's a little more maturely themed in a more mature way.
You're saying this isn't your grandfather's card game.
Shout out!
It's no joke.
Shout out to all of our grandfathers.
Stay away from this card game.
No, seriously, you should.
Don't do it.
You talked about consuming; it'll consume your bankroll too. Right?
Oh, I was just gonna bring that up. So
yeah, we should get to that. Right?
Don't ever play this game. It's just a money suck.
Yeah, like as fun as it is, like it's like one of the most fun things to do to sit down and like play with your friends. Like it's nothing more fun really, but like you said, it's taxing. It gets you.
So we have
they're out there to make money.
We got a question from an anonymous fan here. Jake, how many butt cracks have you seen at these Magic the Gathering tournaments?
I mean, it's definitely double digits, right? I guess the question more is it triple digits, right? Is that more of the question? But yeah. Do you remember there was this guy that got like banned for like years because he did like a butt crack montage at Magic tournaments? Remember that guy?
Yeah, that's right. I remember that going viral.
I think I saw that video.
Maybe it was a lifetime ban. I don't remember honestly, but
yeah, that couldn't have been good publicity for the game.
I saw one headline like a dude got lifetime banned from a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament because he refused to shower for like a week, and it was just getting so bad. Like I heard those were reported to smell so bad. I mean, I'll have Jamie pull it up. Pull it up.
We'll put a link of what he smelled like in the description for you. Yeah, and you can maybe a scratch.
Or you can just send the scent to their doorstep, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine that would want. I can't imagine that sort of publicity would attract attention from a lot of girls who would want to go to these tournaments, really. So I can understand why you sort of shifted a little. I mean, Magic, of course, like it's still a special part of your life. It holds a special. Oh
yeah, now it's just every here and there.
It's a great community building thing where you met a lot of cool people, had a lot of cool networking, and eventually.
My life feel a lot different.
Yeah, you evolved or you sort of transitioned into this other game, which might be a little bit more lucrative, called poker. Can you talk about that transition?
Poker.
Sure. Of course, you brought up Magic the Gathering because so many skills in it overlap with poker. So I just happened to get lucky in that aspect of that. I was building my poker skills, not even knowing it, not even before I even had intentions of playing full time. And so that's why the transition was so easy for me. I just started playing poker. Some of the friends overlapped from Magic to poker, and I don't know. I just ran away with it pretty quickly, and it's been smooth.
Well, all right. Just to go back to Magic a little bit again, I know you were pretty successful in this also, actually, where you had won an enormous tournament and ended up getting an all expenses trip paid to go to Japan. I'm getting a question from a fan here, from an anonymous fan here. Is it true, Jake, that you purchased a pair of underwear out of a vending machine in Japan?
It's funny you asked me that because that's the question I get a lot when I bring up Japan. Everyone's so fascinated about the vending machines, but I can say I've seen underwear in the machines and other things, but I'd not say I bought one. No, it's been a great souvenir. Right?
You weren't even tempted to buy one?
No, it didn't cross my mind, dude. Remember?
Are these is this thong underwear with a leopard print? Was there a Joe Exotic underwear maybe? Shout out! Shout outs to Eric Cowie. So shout outs to Eric Cowie. Hopefully he's still clean and sober.
That was one of the most fun weeks of my life.
I think he is.
Going to Japan and you were underage at the time, but you could still drink some sake.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I got pretty wasted off sake. Yeah, I was like what?
Okay.
It sneaks up on you. that sneaks up on you.
I fell in love with it, though, because it's such a unique alcohol than that. It's it's served hot. What other alcohols?
Yeah, did you drink it hot?
Well,
yeah. Oh, I love it hot.
Oh, my God, I freaking love it hot. Not that I promote drinking, but yeah, I love it hot, dude. That's what sneaks up on you. Next thing you know, you don't know.
You could put rum in tea. I don't know if people do that in Europe a little. Okay.
So, yeah, I heard about that playing poker, actually. I've been getting that. It's hot. I get hot tea, lemon, and bourbon.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, so other than the money, what drew you into poker? Because I know you don't always poker, you don't always win. Sometimes you lose a lot and get crushed. So what?
Everyone goes through those times. Yeah.
So you're not having a stable income. How do you stay resilient? What's it like to not have stable income?
The best way I can answer that is
you're
building things around you. That's what I've learned the most about poker. If you want to get into it like long term, you have to have other ways that in your life to bring you joy and bring you pleasure. Because if you don't, then you are just like inevitably gonna go broke. It seems like.
Yeah. So it seems like the key here is balance.
Ooh.
Exactly, and that's the best thing I can preach about poker. And I know it sounds so cliche, right? You hear when you first get involved, and then you just like kind of brush it away, like, yeah, I know I need to balance, but it's really easy to throw it to the wayside, and you got to keep telling yourself how important it is. I guess you could say that about any job, but yeah, over the years, that notion's really rung true in my head.
And for our listeners, drop a hashtag yin yang in the comments section.
There we go.
For balance.
For balance.
Can you tell it? So Nisk, you actually work a lot with balance and stability. Could you? I know balance is very important in your career.
It is.
In your line of work.
It is. I do practice balance.
Balancing?
One leg, no legs.
So, like, you could recommend for those poker players going through rough times, maybe they could, like, get a balance beam installed in their living room?
I would suggest that because the more stable your body is, the more stable your mind is. It's all balance.
It really is,
It's all about balance?
It's all about balance.
Jake, there was one time you lost your balance when you were, because you didn't always play Magic, you didn't always play poker. You had a job before this, and there was one time you lost your balance. I understand you slipped and got a concussion, and this resulted in you.
Those are sad times. Yeah, that was when I was.
It resulted in you losing your sense of smell.
Yes. Yeah.
What were you?
I was in the hospital for like 2 days and ended up losing my smell. Yeah, it's pretty.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Dude, what were you in a rush? How'd this happen?
Dude, I was like one of those like teenage kids that just like couldn't stop. I had too much energy almost. Like I was like go go go, and even at work I'd just get so bored and I would just like be running in the warehouse.
Jeez.
So stupid, and I just like slipped.
So you were running on a hard surface like concrete, or?
Exactly. Like I don't know. I like doing the job fast. Like it's just fun for me to do it fast. And I was just doing it fast one day, and I slipped on some fucking plastic, and yeah. My feet went one way and my head went the other. I guess, is that a good way to put it?
It's a very graphic way of putting it. It hurts. It hurts a little bit, actually.
That's actually that's the best way to put it.
To try to visualize it. So, has this experience taught you to sort of slow down in life?
I wish I could say it did at the time, but I think it took other failures and blunders to realize that.
Oh no!
How did the doctor? I'm sorry. I gotta unpack this a little bit. So what did the doc? You lost your sense of smell after hitting your head?
I feel like I should do background.
Yes, I had like bleeding on the brain. Yeah.
And so, what did the doctor like tell you? Did like that portion of your brain like was it too damaged or was?
No, this is what he told me. He said you may, if you don't get it back within like a year and a half, then you can, and you probably lost your smell. That's pretty cool.
But is that like what did he say happened to that area of your brain?
I mean, I didn't really get into it that far, honestly.
I don't know. That's what I'm curious.
What happened is like everything smells the same, pretty much. Like so, it's like I can't differentiate the smells. Like it's a better way to put it, maybe.
That's got to be a confusing way to go through life.
What does the constant smell like for those viewers out there?
It's just like nothing, dude. It's like what does a blind man see? Right? It's kind of like that, I guess.
Oh,
dude.
So that's what I'm experiencing with like my nose, I guess. It's just literally nothing. I can't say it's anything. It's just like nothing.
Okay.
So has this been like positive? Like you have to go to the dump or something, and it's like
Oh, yeah, I imagine. Like, I always get into it like this. Yeah, there's benefits and there's negatives, but it's like it really doesn't matter that much to me.
Okay.
I can honestly say it doesn't bother me.
Let's talk poker here. So you're used to playing in casinos, right? And now we got this whole shutdown thing going on. How do you adapt to this?
Dude, I was like I'll be honest, I gotta admit a little bit of a out of line thing I did here. Like, I was considering like leaving the state before the pandemic was happening. I guess try to play out every last hour I could at any casino open, but I did come to my senses and realize it was a bad idea, and I
well, you came to some of your senses, but not your sense of smell.
Oh, but where's the sound effects, dude?
We'll get them in post. Oh my!
Yeah, I didn't travel during the pandemic, and I just fucking said bite the butt bullet. I didn't want to bite. Now I'm playing online. It doesn't feel great, but I mean, you can't complain, I guess.
So online poker, what's the transition like from live to online?
It's a huge transition, dude. Holy shit! Yeah, I'm
better, worse.
You have to approach it very differently, like very different.
What are the biggest differences?
Like, you're playing not half the hands you'd play live, but like you need to play like probably like 3/4 of the hands you'd play live. So like way less hands you're playing. You have to do so much more folding.
So what you mean is the hands that you choose to play come less frequently?
No, it's that the players online are going to attack your bets more, so to speak. So you can't expose yourself as much by playing as many hands as you can live, if that makes sense.
No, dude, we're getting way too technical right now.
I understood like one word you guys said.
All the keys.
All the keys.
Pressing all the keys.
You guys are talking so fast.
The best way to put it is there's just a massive difference. There's a massive difference.
Okay. Yeah, I'd imagine if you were sitting right in front of a guy, you could just look at him and look right into his soul and be like, "You're bluffing." But if you're playing online, you can't really do that because you have to look at your screen. Well,
yeah.
Poker is a game. It's just gambling though. There's no strategy to it.
Right.
No strategy at all. So, Jake, you play poker for a living. Is it fair to say you play poker for a living?
Oh, of course, yeah. It's like my only source of income. I mean, I'm invested in the stock market, but so I guess
that sounds a little fishy to me. You know, I think it might be time for a little segment of our podcast that we like to call Dylan's Detective Corner.
Okay. So,
Dylan's Corner is going to interrogate you about something that he thinks is a little fishy until ultimately you just end up questioning the very fundamentals of something you thought you knew a lot about. So, do you want to play? Are you ready to play?
Am I ready to play?
Are you ready to play?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. You said you play poker for a living?
So you like cut out there for a second.
So Jake, you gotta pay attention to Dylan.
No, I'm saying you cut out there for a second. I couldn't hear him.
This is important. This could be the most important interrogation of your life.
Could be the most important question of your life, if not the most redundant one in the last 5 seconds. So,
I'm ready.
Do you play poker for a living? You said this? Is this true?
I did say this, yes. I do claim to, yes.
Claim to, and just once again repeating the verbiage, you play poker for a living.
Yes.
Okay, so, that's just what we're going to look at for a little bit. For a living, for the purposes of living. So, with this statement, do you presuppose that if... I'm just going to ask you another question. If you did not play poker for like a day, would you die?
I don't want to go there. You know what I mean? Just the thought of that.
Just answer the question. This is a simple yes or no.
If I had to say, I would say yes. I mean, yeah.
You think you would die if you did not play poker for a single day?
I mean, that's the most logical way to look at it, right?
Huh. So I have on my sheet here you were born in 1986?
No, sir.
Oh, yeah, because that was for freaking Drake. All right. Okay. Are you telling me in your entire 20-plus years of life growing up in Canada... Nope. That's Drake again.
Before Degrassi even showed up. When you were just a baby, 2 years old, playing on your Nintendo Wii, and you didn't play poker, how did you survive up to that point where you first started playing poker?
I like kind of I tricked myself into thinking other cards were poker cards, and I think that's how I like latched onto life.
So describe these cards you had when you were 3 that you claimed to.
They were like baseball cards and like football cards.
So you're telling me since birth you have always been surrounded by some type of card?
Exactly. That's like, yeah, that is true.
So so if you can sort of psychologically transfer the energy of this future event, this game, this lifestyle, this ponker, and put it in a baseball card, is this just not an abstract force that can manifest in any sort of structure? And maybe it isn't poker is the living, but it's something deeper than that you can transfer onto other objects such as baseball cards?
I think I see where you're getting at, and it's like, yeah, no, it's like you're saying poker is like what I make a living out of, but it like what I really make a living out of is just, I guess, my like willpower and ability to persist through like adversity and keep a consistent, structure.
And that's it. You do not play poker for a living.
Case closed.
I guess it depends how you want to look at it.
What?
It depends on the glasses you want to look at it with.
Dude, I'm sorry. DJ Khaled just broke into my penthouse suite apartment mansion, and he just started blasting this air horn in my.
There's like 15 chicks here with their tops off as soon as we put that air horn on.
And like confetti just started like falling from the ceiling.
They're
like,
pouring shots of tequila.
Our studio is just like raging party.
Get out of here! You don't belong here.
Get those groupies out.
Get out! Come on, guys. We're recording.
Lock the door.
We're in the studio, guys. Come on.
Wow.
Gee, sorry, Drake.
Some people hear the word Drake and they just go crazy.
Yeah. I might have put a lot of social media marketing saying that we had Drake on today, so that might explain that.
So I understand you have a new album coming out this year.
God, you guys have a short memory, don't you? Fuck,
That's not the only short thing.
My patience for this new album you're developing.
My attention span.
Aha.
Jake, why'd you cry during a Taylor Swift concert? Let's get it straight for the record. There's a lot of confusion.
Well, I'm just someone that like owns every like emotion he has, like with like no shame at all. That's kind of like my principle of life. Just like own it all, and that's how I feel when I listen to Taylor Swift. Like, not all the time. Obviously, I don't cry all the time, but like at a concert, like at a song I like for sure. Like,
what song was it? Just for the fans.
Oh, it was a she blended 2 songs together. It was Long Live and New Year's Day. She did like a mashup.
This one person blended two of her together in one song?
Yeah, they flowed kind of nicely together too. Like she went back and forth like only like 2 times, and it was like kind of cool because I've never obviously couldn't hear that song before. It was kind of like one and only live experience.
Now, are you going to be collabing with Taylor Swift at any time in the near future? You guys are going. I heard you guys were doing a tour together.
Yeah, have your tours been upset?
I wish the relationship was at that level, but
I think that's.
I think I'm gonna have to accept will never happen.
I have to say, Jake, I think that is a great way to go through life. Just if you're overwhelmed with an emotion at any given time, just own it. That's awesome. That's courageous. I think a lot more people should do that.
Thanks, man. I just think like it's easy to like get the fear of getting judged or like what your peers will say, and I always like acknowledge that and said like fuck it, I'm gonna own like what I like, even if it's weird or whatever. But
there you go. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's definitely brave. I think a lot of people would be. Yeah, if I were going to cry during a Taylor Swift song, it would definitely be New Year's Day.
I remember that commercial you were in, and you were lip singing to the Taylor Swift song, and you were lifting. I do remember that, so this makes a lot of sense.
Dylan, you remember you guys paid up for me and like left Drake on the wayside.
Okay, well, I have like a huge notepad filled with all these questions, so sometimes
you got to go on the fly, man. You got to go on the fly.
Ah, jeez. What's it like growing up in Canada? Do you have any reservations about playing a boy in a wheelchair when you were able-bodied, especially in this growing America? And if you are not Drake, how should Drake feel about that?
Oh man,
I think he's something.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I just,
Sometimes you gotta hit the hard-hitting
We
questions.
already did Dylan's detective corner.
Sorry, this is like the third time I've interrogated you today.
All right. So, and of course, music is very important. It can hit you on a deep level sometimes, especially the music of Taylor Swift. I know that you pay close attention to lyrics a lot and enjoy breaking down the meanings of certain lyrics.
Oh yeah, it's an understatement. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Like I do with my family and friends. It's like awesome. I love. There's like hundreds of ways you can interpret certain lines in songs. I love hearing anyone's take on them.
Anything that's just recently, any particular lyric that's recently been on your mind?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Because I have two that have been on my mind a lot. Like,
how did I know you would have something?
I do, yeah. And the first one, I think a lot of people can relate to. But it's like it's easy to like look over. It's like
things.
You would like think it's so obvious. It's one of those things that's so obvious that it's easy to just like.
So what do you got for us?
Right.
It's a Rolling Stones lyric. Right?
Rolling Stones. What are they from? Like the 70s, the 80s?
Yeah, but it's like a great like.
The Rolling Stones rock, dude.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's
hit us.
A smile relieves the heart that bleeds. Remember what I said.
Whoa.
You get that?
A smile relieves the heart that bleeds.
Remember what I said.
Remember what I said. Because it's easy to like assume that. It's like, oh, obviously it does, right? But I think the message is like, if you're dealing with like social trouble, it's like easy to want to isolate yourself and be alone. But it's like, it's saying like, reach out to your friends that are just have been there forever, and then you'll enjoy like some good times with them, and you'll forget about the past and move on, and you'll be in a better state of mind than if you want to take your initial take in the situation and just isolate yourself and just like dwell in the pain,
Ooh, I love isolating myself.
Oh my goodness. This is turning out to be the most positive message episode of the history of the God's Plan podcast.
Yeah, man, it's a good message.
The history of the God's Plan podcast.
You're just a well of positivity and like productive attitudes. It's great.
No, dude, that's what I live on, for sure.
You're a get it done guy.
Attitude.
Get it done guy.
You're a get it done guy, Drake.
I can see why you've had so much success in the hip hop industry. 4 Grammys.
I mean, we modeled this podcast off of one of your songs.
400 nominations.
0 to 100. That's a good one. I still listen to that one.
We modeled the entire podcast.
So, Eric, you value lyrics as well, I hear, right? So, you have any on your mind?
I value lyrics. Yeah, I actually really like the particular lyric in a particular song called God's Plan. By Drake.
I had a feeling you were going to go there.
He says, I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry. What do you think that means when he says that?
It sounds very genuine because when he says I'm sorry, like he genuinely wishes he could love other things, but he just loves those things. So it's like it feels sincere.
Like he wants to. Yeah. Like who do you think he's saying it to? Even
he's like, I wish I could love other things, but these two things are just like
it's like
enough.
Like someone's putting themselves out there. Like, hey, love me, like. And he's just, hey, I wish I could, but the only 2 things in my life that I love are one, my bed, 2, my mama.
Can I share a lyric?
Hey,
hell yeah, dude, hell yeah.
Dylan has a lyric.
So, this is by the artist Joe Exotic, and he's got some real good songs. I don't know if anybody's seen the hot Netflix special Tiger King.
King, Mayhem, Madness, and Murder.
This is a song he wrote about John Finley, I believe, is one of his husbands.
One of his multiple straight husbands.
Yes, so you might think from documentary it's his first husband. It's actually like his 4th husband, technically. But the chorus it hits me so hard. It's, you were my first love, the one that's gonna last.
Oh!
A million miles later, I'm a ghost from the past.
My feelings.
You were my true love. The one that's... Oh, here's the one that'll kill you. You were my true love. The one that's supposed to last.
A million miles later.
Wait, I thought we didn't even break down the first one, dude.
Oh, we got... Sorry.
Oh, this is the...
I get kind of carried away when I hear...
Later.
When I hear Joey
Still
Exotic.
stranded in the past.
I think the first one really illustrates like a common fear in like love, and that people are so scared to like go their whole lives and then like it ending like late and then they just like have all these regrets,
You were my first love, the one that's supposed to last.
Yeah.
I think we can all, at some point, agree to that feeling. You were my first love. This is going to last forever. But then time rolls on. You separate, dare I say, 1,000,000 miles. And what are you but just a simple ghost from the past?
Wow.
I like the first one the best for sure.
Deep.
It hits
You know what this reminds me of? The movie Titanic.
Why does that movie have any ties to me, Eric? Jeez.
What do you mean? Wait, are you saying you like the movie Titanic?
No, that's what I was alluding to. It is my favorite movie of all time. I gotta say.
Your all-time favorite movie.
Never seen it.
But it's not saying too much because I haven't seen many movies at all. Like
Titanic. The greatest juxtaposition of fragility and chaos. Two young lovers in the midst of a catastrophic event that they don't understand. But when they find each other, it brings meaning to their lives. It's a masterpiece. It's a true masterpiece.
That was an epic.
it is like it makes me want to learn how to paint so I can like convince a girl to like let reenact that scene where they're like he like paints her.
What is that your favorite scene? Though you like the nude scene. That's your favorite scene.
No, when he's painting her nude. It's not my favorite, but like I'm just saying, it's like it would be a cool thing to do with like
dirty
other.
You naughty bird.
You naughty bird.
There's too many good scenes to debate.
Whoa. I would have guessed the poker scene is your favorite.
I go to America.
It's my destino.
I go to America.
So no, Jake. I thought that the last scene of the movie was your favorite.
But when she throws the pearl down in the water.
Oh no! Fuck her for doing that, yo. That's bullshit.
That's like that's the last scene. You said fuck.
No, the one where she was just doing what Jack described. She was just dying warm in her bed after living like a completely fulfilled life. And the screen pans to all the cool little photos and memories of all the amazing things she did because Jack inspired her.
Right.
Are we watching the same movie here?
Of course, yeah. I mean, there's just so many good scenes that it's hard to like pinpoint to that one. Like that one is great, obviously, because it leaves you with like a smile after so much. It's like an emotional roller coaster, right? Because like so many terrible things happen, and then that happens, so it kind of like it breaks the tension of all how like grim this movie was. So that I guess that is pretty. Yeah, that's a good one to bring up.
So it turns out in Titanic, in the first version, when when they're on the lifeboat or whatever, and she's staring up at the sky and the stars, that's the wrong sky.
Oh yeah,
That's
James Cameron.
Yep.
James Cameron. Didn't they fix that though in one of the cut edited?
Because they called Neil deGrasse Tyson and said, "Hey, I heard you got a sky for me."
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That's right. NGT, baby.
deGrasse.
And I guess he told James Cameron, he's like, "Oh, well, everything's perfect except you have the wrong sky." And then James Cameron went up to him at a party, being all catty. And he's like, "Oh, well, it looks like I just made $1 billion with the wrong sky. Guess people don't care about the wrong sky."
Good
when
for
they
him.
did the remake, then like it was another producer, and he asked Neil deGrasse Tyson because Neil deGrasse Tyson's like, "What a dick."
And the point of that is, nobody gives a shit about science. Because here on the God's Plan podcast, everything is up to God's hands.
What do you guys miss the most about this quarantine shit? You know, like what are you deprived of that's giving you the most?
The gym.
Answer. Yeah. That's up there for me.
I want to pick up something heavy. I was lifting.
What about you,
I
Aaron?
found a branch in front of the DMV the other day, and I was doing like rows and chest presses and shoulder presses. I'm getting desperate.
It's so important to get creative for sure.
I need a barbell. You're right.
Honestly, the lack of baseball is killing me.
Baseball.
Stick sport.
Sports? We don't. No, this isn't a sports podcast.
We're here to talk
I
sports.
have to bring up
today.
baseball. I think that's like
Sports
one of my
ball.
pride is.
We don't talk about sports ball. We can talk about health. Jake, you recently wrote a paper that was published in the National Science Health Journal of Health and Facts magazine. Art.
Yeah, you actually have to pay to read it. So like, click on the link. It's like there's a cost.
The National Science Enquirer. So what was this about? What was this article about?
I've just been reading into prolonged fasting lately, and like how many benefits there are for it, and I was fascinated by how much there was.
So prolonged fasting, what is that?
So everyone knows, or mostly everyone knows, like intermittent fasting, which is 8 and 16, where you don't eat for 16 hours and you eat an 8-hour window. And it's kind of like a modified version of it.
16 hours without eating.
Well, yeah, that you do every day. But what I've been researching into, that's what everyone knows fasting as. This is kind of a variant of fasting. So it's just you do it every other month, every like 4 months, depending on how you can work it into your lifestyle. Is do a 3 or 4 day fast a few times a year, and so there's tons of benefits for it. It really fascinated me looking into it.
You're talking about 3 or 4 days, no food.
Yeah, only water, and you can have like tea or like bone broth. Bone broth's great.
What about Captain Morgan?
Yeah, nothing with calories. Yeah.
No. So gin is okay.
Gin is okay.
Is it? Yeah, I think it is.
No, it's not.
Gin has calories?
Yeah, alcohol is.
I think it does. Yeah, I think it does actually. Yeah.
What the fuck is it? Is this part of the bikini body girl thing? Is this what kind of
Duncan? I know Duncan's done something weird like this. Like no, because this is.
It's a cleanse.
No.
I could talk about it forever.
No. This sounds way too healthy. This sounds way too healthy for me. You know, I'm more interested in a paper you wrote when you were a much younger, more wholesome, opinionated.
Oh
no! We're gonna do a little brief reading of an essay you wrote.
Fasting's so much more informative.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to inform on this podcast.
I don't know if. Yeah, I know we're covering a lot here. I don't know if you remember this or know what I'm going to read, but just to give just to provide a little context here. So, Jake and I used to play the video games. You know, a lot of people get sucked into the video games. And there's one game in particular that we played where you have to shoot other people and kill them. I know it's violent. It's violent. It's a violent game.
This sounds awful.
Look, the world is full of terrible things.
Why would you want to commit crime?
It's for war, man. Anyways, so we were playing this game, and you start shooting someone. Maybe they don't die right away, and then another person comes in and shoots them.
Oh.
You know what? I'm gonna let Jake, and then it's very frustrating. I'm gonna let Jake's essay do the talking. So this is an essay called "Assists" by Jacob Gagnon. Assists. Assists are just great. It's just a beautiful thing when you are working very hard to kill someone, and one of your teammates that just doesn't give a rat's ass comes up and finishes them off. You did 96% of the work, and he finishes off the last 4%.
Whoa.
I just want you to close your eyes and imagine right now a scenario. You're on your favorite level in the game. You worked very hard to get your kill streak going, and you're shooting at the last person who keeps peeking out from behind a wall, but you haven't planned ahead, and you put on the attachment of FMJ. This lets you shoot through walls. So you dwindle his life down to nothing, and then a random one of your teammates spawns near the enemy and finishes him off with very little effort at all. As soon as this happens, you get noob tube to end your kill streak of 24, and you had nuke on. How would you feel after this scenario? I don't know about you, but I would feel pretty goddamn shitty.
Wow, dude. I forgot how much I
should have bleeped that part out. There's only a little bit left here. This is just one of the many scenarios that can happen in the world of assists. When these scenarios come up, they can be very frustrating and can go against your kill-to-death ratio. In the end of all these scenarios, the game mocks you by giving you 10 points, which is 1/10 of what you would get if you had gotten the kill. I actually wish... No, this is the best part.
Oh my god.
I actually wish they would just give you 0 points, because 10 points feels like they're rubbing it in your face and laughing at you as you sit there watching someone else finish off your opponent that you were trying to kill.
I can't believe you're reading this right now. It's fucking.
And while all of this video game hell is going on, Someone spawns behind you and shoots you in the back with all the skill inside of him.
Oh my.
Overall, these scenarios are the farthest from fun and can make the game a lot less fun for you. So, oh my god, I wish I gave the context first. That is a beautiful piece of writing. The context of that was you came up to me one day complaining about how you got an assist, and I said, Jake, why don't you just go write an essay about it? And this motherfucker, my man actually went out and wrote this essay about this.
My man went out.
I felt that passionate about it. Yeah, I haven't read that in a while, but I was really like going in.
Now other people are going to hear that, man. And I noticed you turned into, you're just a very industrial person. You know, you go out and do stuff. You want to get credit. We want credit to be given where it's due. That, if you deserve
That's a good assessment. Yeah, it fuels me, dude. Like, just doing anything like is like fuel. It's kind of weird.
Getting fueled is tight.
I think that's beautiful. And I'm sure that relates a lot to the poker world as well. You know, you put in the hard work, you probably get some returns there. Right. Okay, so we're right about at the time here. Now, we covered a whole mess of topics. They were all over the place here. Taylor Swift.
We're spitballing, right?
Poker, Titanic.
What else can you do, right? We're all stir crazy. Yeah.
Everything, man. There was just a lot. There was a lot to take in here. So, Jake, before we go, is there anything you want to say to the folks? Anything like any message?
Yeah, I got a message. I say, in life, you're going to be faced with times where you really don't want to do something. And just project how you're going to feel if you do that thing. And if you just project that feeling and try to really feel it, I think it'll raise your willpower and you'll accomplish more things you want to do in life.
I love that. Very profound. All right. So, folks, that was Jake Gagnon. We were here with Jake Gagnon.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
He plays full-time poker in Boston. Jake, it was a pleasure. Go out and spread the word to people.
Inside
the God's Plan podcast is the spot. Now,
right.
Don't spread anything else. Don't spread any dangerous germs, but spread the word of the God's Plan podcast. Or don't. Who cares? It's all in God's plan. It's all in God's hands.
Yeah. It's not up to anyone, right? But
next week, tune in because we are having the actual Drake on our podcast. All right, folks.
Okay.
Have a good day, beautiful people. See you later.
Peace.
If you like today's show, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, I still can't think of the Twitter handle right now, but I swear to God we have a Twitter handle.
God's Plan Podcast.